Okay, here we go. We're going to do some dictionary detective work. Seething. Usually in America that means angry or upset, but this book was written by a British person, and so it actually means rushing. Trifle. If your problem might be a trifle problem, we consider that to be a little. Primly. Have you ever heard of somebody being primly? Well, that's daintily. Scrumptious. I bet you've heard that some cakes were scrumptious. That means they were delicious. Okay, and pandemonium. If something is in pandemonium, it's in an uproar. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to need to erase these, so pause me and put them in if you didn't get them. Okay, and balderdash is our last word. Balderdash means nonsense. So we're going to write nonsense. So if you're full of balderdash, you're full of nonsense. Go ahead and pause if you need to finish writing this in. I'm going to go on. Okay, so on this, we're going to match the word to its meaning. If I remember right, seething meant rushing. So I go from that dot to that dot. Trifle means little. Primly is daintily. Scrumptious is delicious. Pandemonium means an uproar, and balderdash means nonsense. Okay, so now circle the word which makes sense in the sentence. I find it a blank hot in here, so I'm going to turn on a fan. I find it a little hot, or I find an uproar hot. Well, little makes more sense. So little, the word that goes with little is trifle. My brother saw a UFO, but of course my story is just, here, maybe if Mrs. Weissy could read. I told my brother I saw a UFO, but of course my story is just scrumptious, which means delicious, or balderdash, which means nonsense. It'd be nonsense. The young lady blanked her tea as she waited for her friend to arrive. Did the lady seething or rushingly sip her tea, or did the lady primly, daintily sip her tea? Well, when people are sipping tea, we usually say it's dainty. After the team won the championship, there was balderdash, nonsense, or pandemonium, uproar, as their fans rushed to the field. It's usually an uproar, so it'd be pandemonium. When the movie ended, the audience began seething, which means rushing towards the entry, or primly, which means daintily towards the exit or entry. Basically, usually people are rushing, so it's seething. The Thanksgiving meal my granny prepares is absolutely, is it scrumptious, which means delicious, or trifle, which means little? Well, it's scrumptious. Okay, go ahead and change any that you didn't get right. This one says the author of the James and the Giant's Peach, Ronald Dahl, likes to make up his own unique words to use in his stories. For example, he made up the word scrumdiddlyicious, which means delicious. Make up your own word that you would have the same meaning as scrumptious, pandemonium, and balderdash. I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own. It could be fun. You're making up a word. Okay. Understanding the story. What happened to the aunts in chapter 15? Are they smashed by the giant peach? Or did they roll down the hill with the peach? Well, they were smashed. What happens to the insects inside the peach when it starts rolling? Is it A, they get tangled up together, or B, they continue to sit and talk? Well, they got tangled up together. Okay, how does James solve the hunger problem for the insects? Well, if you remember right, everybody was worried that there was not going to be anything to eat on the peach as they were floating through the ocean. What did James suggest? Well, he said they should eat the peach. Okay. Do you think Earthworm should risk his life and trust James' idea? Why or why not? Do you remember the idea that James had and why they needed an idea? What was attacking the peach? Well, if you remember right, it was sharks. And so what did James decide they should do? He said that they should lasso the seagulls to raise the peach out of the water so that the sharks wouldn't have anything to try and attack. And how did he suggest lassoing those seagulls? Well, it was by using earthworm as bait. And so earthworm sat out, and when they swooped down to get him, they pulled the earthworm in, and they would throw the lasso nets or string around the bird so that it would pull the peach up. So what do you think earthworm thought? So go ahead and write that. Okay, a little extra. In chapter 18, Centipede sings about exotic foods he has eaten. Which is the most exotic food you've ever tasted? Was it scrumptious? For some people, it might be something as regular as a bacon cheeseburger. For others, it might be something like sushi. Go ahead and tell us what you've eaten. Okay, chapter summary. If you were to give a title to this section of the book, what would it be? Well, it could be something about traveling in the ocean or flying in a peach, whatever you come up with. Number 2, what happened in this section? Well, first of all, the peach ran over the ants, right? So we would write, hopefully we'll write, where did it fall into? It fell into the sea. Or into the ocean. Sixth graders, you can tell the difference between a sea and an ocean. I know you had that in your science. What happened in the ocean? Sharks attacked the peach. Okay, and you guys tell me the rest of what happened. There's not too much left. And then what's your favorite section of the book? Was it when the peach rolled over the ants? That was a good one. Was it when they were all tangled up together in the peach because they rolled over and over? Was it how James came up with all the good ideas to save them when they were worried about the peach sinking or floating, or when they were worried the sharks were going to attack? Go ahead, write just a sentence telling me what your favorite section of the book was. Did you learn any new words? Go ahead and write them down and draw a picture to show me what's going on in this section. And that's the end of this section. So if you have any questions, if you need any help spelling anything, ask your teachers on Zoom.